Welcome to Zvia Weight Loss Medspa. Here's something we hear all the time. You're putting in the work, you're training consistently, eating right, prioritizing your recovery, and your body just isn't keeping up the way it should. It feels like recovery takes longer, your energy just tanks by mid-afternoon, and that stubborn weight around your midsection, it just doesn't respond to the same things that worked 5 years ago. And you start wondering, is this it? Is this just what getting older feels like? That's the most frustrating part, isn't it? You're putting in more effort and you're getting less return. But here's what's so exciting. What you're feeling, it has a biological explanation, and it all starts inside your mitochondria. And that's exactly why we're talking about MOTS-c today. That's MOTS-c. It's what's called a mitochondrial-derived peptide, which really just means it's a small signaling molecule that's actually encoded in your mitochondrial DNA. Your body already makes it. And here's the really cool part. It's literally part of your natural exercise response. Okay, so let's get into what's happening at the cellular level. Think about your mitochondria. They're the power plants inside every single one of your cells. But they don't just crank out energy. They also communicate with the rest of your body. And they do that using signaling molecules. MOTS-c is one of the most important of these signals. And when you exercise, your body's response is huge. The levels of MOTS-c inside your skeletal muscles shoot up by nearly 12 times. Now, this isn't some tiny adjustment. This is a massive signal from your mitochondria, basically shouting at the rest of your body to ramp up energy production, burn fat more efficiently, and build metabolic resilience. But here's the catch. As we get older, our natural production of this crucial signal starts to drop off. As you can see here, circulating MOTS-c levels can be anywhere from 11 to over 20% lower in middle-aged and older adults. That decline is directly connected to everything people start to notice. The recovery that takes longer, the weight that won't budge, the energy that just seems to fade. The signal is getting weaker, and that gap between your effort and your results just keeps getting wider. So how exactly does MOTS-c work its magic? The mechanism here is genuinely remarkable. It all happens through something called the Folate-AICAR-AMPK axis. It's this beautiful biological cascade. First, MOTS-c targets and temporarily disrupts a fundamental process in your cells called the folate-methionine cycle. Now, by disrupting it, it causes a metabolic intermediate called ACIKR to pile up. We're talking more than 20 times its normal levels. And that massive accumulation of ACIKR is the key that unlocks the next step. Right, that huge surge of AMPK flips on what scientists often call the master metabolic switch in our cells, AMPK. This is the very same switch that exercise and fasting activate. So when it turns on, a few critical things happen. First, transporters rush to the surface of your muscle cells to pull in glucose for fuel, which improves insulin sensitivity. Second, your body starts burning more fat for energy. And third, and this is huge, it tells your body to create brand new mitochondria. You're literally building more power plants. But wait, there's more. MOTS-c does something else that is just so unique. Under metabolic stress, it can physically travel from the mitochondria all the way into the nucleus of the cell, the command center, so it has this incredible dual action. In the mitochondria, it's boosting energy production, but in the nucleus, it's binding directly to your DNA to switch on your body's own antioxidant defense genes. And this was a groundbreaking discovery. It's the first known time we've seen a molecule made in the mitochondria directly regulating genes in the nucleus. It's a direct line of communication from the power plant to the cell's headquarters. The mitochondria aren't just making energy, they're sending status updates to the nucleus, telling it to protect and defend the entire cell. Okay, so we've gone deep on the science. But what does this actually look and feel like for someone who's restoring this signal? What's the transformation timeline really like? Well, it tends to happen in 3 distinct phases. The first 1 to 2 weeks are what we call the opening. This is when all that cellular signaling really kicks in. You might start noticing your energy levels feel more stable through the day. Next comes building momentum, which is from weeks 2 through 8. Here, the changes become more measurable. Insulin sensitivity improves. Your exercise capacity gets a noticeable boost. You start feeling like your workouts are producing results again. And then, from week 8 onward, you hit the crescendo. This is full metabolic optimization, with visible changes in body composition and performance. That sounds like an amazing progression. So, is there anything a person can do to really amplify those results and get the most out of their protocol? Absolutely, and this part is so important. MOTS-c has incredible synergy with your lifestyle choices. For example, Doing your exercise in a fasted state is a huge amplifier. It maximizes that combined activation of the AMPK switch. A nutrition plan that's low in refined carbs and sugars creates the perfect metabolic environment for these signals to work their best. And quality sleep is completely non-negotiable because that's when your body actually integrates all the new mitochondria you're building.
So in a clinical setting like ours, MOTS-c is given as a small subcutaneous injection. This is just to make sure it gets absorbed directly and effectively into your system. At Zvia, our providers determine the precise dosing and frequency for you, all based on your unique biology, your labs, and your goals.
Yeah, and that precision is really what makes this so different from generic supplements you might find over the counter. A lot of those take a very indirect shotgun approach to metabolism. MOTS-c is the opposite. It's precise. We aren't introducing some foreign substance, we're simply amplifying a natural signal your body already makes and recognizes.
And sourcing is absolutely critical. For both safety and for it to actually work, it's essential that these peptides are pharmaceutical grade, with purity verified at 99% or higher. As you can see, the research-grade stuff you might see online can have really inconsistent purity levels, which affects everything. That's why working with an experienced medical team that vets their sources is just so important.
You know, at the end of the day, that's really the core message here. Your body, right now, has the blueprint for metabolic resilience built right into it. MOTS-c is just the language your mitochondria use to communicate that blueprint, and by understanding this pathway, we can help restore that conversation inside your cells and finally close that gap between the effort you're putting in and the results you truly deserve. If you're interested in learning how this science could be applied to you, our team here at Zvia Weight Loss Medspa would love to talk. You can schedule your consultation with us at our website, zvia.com, that's zvia.com, or you can just call the number on your screen.
And of course, please remember that this has all been for educational purposes. A qualified healthcare provider is the only one who can help you determine if a protocol like this is the right fit for your specific needs and goals.